What's good, YouTube? C1MAC in the building, back with another video. Don't know why I'm leaning. Back with another topic. Reaction, discussion. As everybody knows, Will Smith apparently apologized to Chris Rock on video. So we're going to take a look at it. And we're going to sit there and see what we think. I'm definitely going to say my piece, try to dissect it a little bit, not nothing too crazy, and just go from there. So let's get to it.
Why didn't you apologize to Chris in your acceptance speech? I was fogged out by that point. It's all fuzzy. I've reached out to Chris, and the message that came back is that he's not ready to talk, and when he is, he will reach out. So I will say to you, Chris, I apologize to you. My behavior was unacceptable, and I'm here whenever you're ready to talk. You know, I made a choice on my own, from my own experiences, from my history with Chris. Jada had nothing to do with it. I'm sorry, babe. I'm going to say sorry to my kids and my family for the heat that I brought on all of us. What would you say to the people who looked up to you before the slap, or people who expressed that you let them down? So there's two things. One, disappointing people is my central trauma. I hate when I let people down. So it hurts. It hurts me psychologically and emotionally to know I didn't live up to people's image and impression of me. And the work I'm trying to do is, I am deeply remorseful, and I'm trying to be remorseful without being ashamed of myself, right? I'm human, and I made a mistake, and I'm trying not to think of myself as a piece. So I would say to those people, I know it was confusing. I know it was shocking. But I promise you, I am deeply devoted and committed to putting light and love and joy into the world. And, you know, if you hang on, I promise we'll be able to be friends again.
So a few things. When you go through a moment that you regret, at the heat of the moment, it takes a while to cool down and rationalize on what you did, or realize what you did. And even if you figure it out right away, correcting it at the time may be a very dangerous thing. Maybe something that is hard to do, maybe something that won't have a full effect sometimes, depending on how hostile that person feels, depending on the scenario and situation. You decided to defend your wife's honor. And that in itself, I hope more people do certain things in a tactful manner, being more aware of their surroundings, to defend their significant other, to defend their spouse. Not all the time you're going to be in a scenario where you can just do things on impulse, do drastic things, do things that are of a physical confrontation. For example, if I'm out with my wife, if I'm out with my girl, and there's guys, there's like 4 or 5 guys, 3 guys, maybe 2 or 3 guys that are really, really fit or whatever, or got weapons or whatever the scenario may be. And they're trying to embarrass me. They're trying to cause harm. Based on my skills, based on my fighting skills, based on if I have a weapon, based on the elements around me, the buildings around me, the environments of all sorts, you would think about things like that to try to make sure that not only she gets out of it safe, but you as well. Now, if it's just one guy being disrespectful and he doesn't have a weapon, or let's say if he does have a weapon and you have a weapon, then you have to make a decision there as well. Sometimes the best way to fight certain situations is to not even engage in that person at all, entertain that person at all. Now, from my take of it, Chris Rock has always been that type of person. Everywhere you go, Chris Rock is Chris Rock. I mean, that's how he makes his bread and butter. That's what makes him a comedian of a unique type, of a unique kind. So for a person to know Chris Rock, for a person to know Chris Rock and understand how he is, understand how he jokes, he takes jabs no matter where he goes, especially at an award show, because he's trying to do his job as a comedian. I probably would have addressed it after the show or in the back, but for him to do that and humiliate that man in public for doing what he does, that you've seen him do many times before, was just egregious, was ridiculous. Because that's something that when you have a solid commitment or decision to do, there's got to be a lot of reason and understanding behind it. Now, if this wasn't a person that wasn't known to be a comedian, that wasn't known to make those type of jokes towards just anybody, and they just came out of nowhere with it, then that would have been another concept or perception. But for everybody to know how Chris Rock is, for everybody to know how his jokes are and punchlines and roast and all that stuff, and you could have just jabbed back at him with that, with some more jokes, this and the other, rose me off the wrong way that you took that route, knowing that he's doing his job up there, not as a comedian, but also a comedian / host. And everybody's aware of that. Another front is, I understand as a pleaser, as a person that's committed to doing things to satisfy the ones you love and care about so much that you're willing to pour more into them than they do to you. You also need to have self-preservation. You also need to understand that if that person put you out there, if that person puts you down, may not really put you in a great light, in multiple facets in social media and times, it's you really got to sit there and say to yourself the bigger picture, or is it worth it? You really should have a talk with them about that too. As far as feeling ashamed, it's natural. You're going to feel ashamed about things that you regret doing, things that you feel like you could have did better, even in the heat of the moment. And you just have to live with that decision. Feeling ashamed is going to help you create a way to try to make up for it, if there's even a sense of making up for that type of thing, which is probably going to be hard. And you need to feel that to understand why you shouldn't do stuff like that anymore. So that's my take on that. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this apology. A public apology, I guess, is one thing, but you know, you should apologize to him in public since you embarrassed him in public. And it just feels like you kind of, I know you feel bad, but at the same time, it also feels like, in a sense, you're trying to rush that apology and hurry up and get it over with, while he still needs time to even gather his thoughts before even approaching or talking to you. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Comment section down below. Till next time, until another day, be easy, y'all. Be self-aware, please. And make tactful decisions. Not decisions out of impulse, not decisions because you're hot.